Travelers and commuters are groaning as fuel scarcity has interrupted business activities in various ways. Petrol stations that have the product are selling between 900 and 1,000 naira per litre. In Abuja, Lagos transporters have hiked fares, while oil marketers insist they are intensifying efforts to tackle the situation. Well, there is dissatisfaction among citizens. Mayor, you know, when we talk about fuel scarcity, we discussed this yesterday, and a lot of issues were raised. We have refineries not working. We have, distance between logistics, transportation of petroleum products to the various locations. Now, we are yet to see any succor, and we are made to believe that things would, turn out fine. But from your own perspective, what do you think about how we've handled the situation, the government, the petroleum producers? What do you think about this whole situation, and what do you think, is the gaps that we're yet to...
My problem has to do with NMPC.
Right.
Because they are the sole importer of petroleum products. Mm-hmm. But my problem with them is that they keep telling Nigerians stories. What do I mean by that? Long time ago, they told us that by December, that in fact they have finished the turnaround they are doing in Petrol refinery. And that by December, Petrol refinery will come on stream. Already they are telling us again now that, by December, Kaduna refinery will be by 60% production and all that. Mm. You understand? They keep telling us those stories, and they will not be able to deliver on such promises. And that is the major problem. The major problem is that if the refinery, for example, the Petrol refinery has come on stream, mm-hmm. You understand? And if, for example, Dangote, because even Dangote, we have to understand the problem that he has. The government has not been able, NMPC has not been able to provide the crude that he needs to be able to do production. Mm. So they don't have enough crude. So they are now doing only diesel and aviation fuel. Until those ones come on stream, we will continue to have the problem because we will still depend on importation. Yeah. And what I learned is that there was a shortfall in importation because of the turnaround maintenance they were doing abroad. Yeah. And in every refinery, whether we like it or not, you have to do turnaround maintenance. It's part of the business. Mm-hmm. You understand? But I think that if an NPC had been forward-looking or proactive, they should know that where their suppliers will need to do turnaround at a particular time, mm-hmm. and they should have made provisions for it. So, but the problem we have now is that because that shortfall, and then because the amount, the volume of fuel that we use, yeah. We'll have this kind of problem. I believe that in the next few weeks it will ease because the fuel is around. It's just now the logistics of be able to supply and do that.
So, BKO, your thoughts on this? Because even though we should be optimistic about the refineries, starting up in Kaduna by the end of the year, what are your thoughts on the way the government has handled this issue over the time?
Yes, honestly, we have all kinds of problems. First, we would have had sufficient supply of PMS, if not for the devaluation of our currency. Right. Because initially, oil marketers showed interest. In fact, when some of them received their first petrol-laden vessels, they made an issue out of it. Newspapers and TV stations reported it. But the moment the value of the naira crashed against the dollar, and that problem of dollar liquidity reared its head again, most of them could not find the dollars with which they could bring in the product. So they decided to leave it to the NMPC as usual. And NMPC does not have enough capacity to store the products that they bring in. I still don't even believe that this importation is 100% by NMPC. I don't believe. And they know that it's not.
Why do you think so?
Because I have information. It's not everything that I know that I can say on air. But they know, those watching me, they know that that had not always been the case.
The truth is.
There are a few people that they allowed. You know? Remember, even when we had the contaminated fuel,
Yeah.
it wasn't NMPC that brought that in, if you remember.
That's
So, and at that time, they were telling us that they were the only ones importing. So that's just, I'm just dropping that for people to know that it's not everything you hear from these guys that you believe. If they tell you it's 4 o'clock, check. It may well be 6 p.m. So that is the thing. They don't have enough capacity for storage. In the past, they had used facilities of those people who have tank farms and all that, including Capital Oil, if you remember. I won't go into all that. We would not have been in this mess if not for the value of the currency. Now, even manufacturers are struggling to access the dollar. Many of them are having to go to black market to access it. Is it from black market that people will be accessing dollars to bring in this product? When it was easier to access, they signified interest to bring in product. Today, they've run away because of the problem of dollar liquidity. Now, because we do not plan ahead, and because we've not tried to create something like
Buffer.
strategic
Right.
fuel dumps in our states, there's no reason why Kano, for example, should not have a strategic fuel dump where in moments of emergency we can turn to it. America does it.
Yeah.
When fuel is unbearably expensive, the President of America will release petrol from their strategic reserve, and they will use it to moderate prices. The same way we have strategic grains reserve, we should have such for PMS, because PMS is such an important product. I call it security product because, look, you can set the country ablaze.
Yeah.
If you allow this pain, for example, to linger for too long. People are angry already. So we can't have an NMPC that will allow it. It is borderline incompetence to allow this scarcity to happen. It pains me as a country because we are a big oil producer. Yet
We're suffering.
we are suffering over what we have in abundance.
What they have in Côte d'Ivoire.
Countries, we are going to countries that do not have, some of them do not even have oil deposits. We are going there to buy refined crude oil, to buy PMS. We are going to some countries of the world that they do not have petrol, but they have refinery. They do not have crude oil, but they have refineries.
So this requires more like soul search on the part of the government and the part of the people.
Because for so long we didn't do what we should have done.
Right.
If we had refineries and we kept them working, if we were not just foolishly relying on importation because there's so much money in it.
Right.
Do you know how many billionaires we've made
Of course.
out of importation of something that we could produce by ourselves?
Locally.
So everybody just pulled back. From the military era, we've had uninterrupted importation of petrol. And you are wondering why
We're in this mess.
we are in this mess. The Kaduna refinery, 110,000 barrel per day capacity. When was the last time it worked? When was the last time? This government is showing determination to revive those refineries, because if we're able to revive them, the bulk of money that we spend to import petrol is still the highest guzzler of foreign exchange, importation of PMS. If we can fix those refineries, we will be able to supply the forex market a lot more, because we'll now move the money that we were spending to import product, we'll now move it into the market, and it will bring down
The price.
The rate. So we must solve the problem of these refineries, and hopefully when these forward sales that the Buhari regime made, when we come to the end, NMPCL will be able to produce crude
Right.
for Dangote refineries. They are waiting patiently. I expect that by July, Dangote should start producing crude oil. Because right now, they cannot supply. Whatever crude oil they produce, despite the oil theft and all that, they are sending it to the people that they collected money in advance from. So that is the bind that we find ourselves. But they are telling us that by Wednesday, you and I know it's not practicable, that by Wednesday this problem will be solved. We will come back
No, it won't be solved.
and show them videos.
It will ease. That's what they claim. Because, you know, they have the product now. They just, it's the distribution.
And it takes time now for when everybody is coming to
Yeah.
Lagos to lift petrol. Before you get to Maiduguri, it will take maybe about a week.
Yes, more than a week.
Minimum.
Well, let's hope that things will be resolved soon, because everyone really depends on petrol for the businesses and all.